500 times. That is probably the number of times I failed on getting sober. It probably, I wonder if it's a little bit more, but there's the stat. There's that's to get your attention. 500 times that I failed in getting sober. What do I mean by that? Is that I knew for 500 days probably that I needed to stop. I knew that alcohol had gone from being an enjoyable part of my life to being a toxic, controlling part of my life that was having a truly negative effect on my life, and over 500 days. So every day I thought about that, and every day I didn't stop, and every day I carried on living that same life, I was failing. Now, what is my point? My point is the one thing about sobriety, but then actually before then, in building my business when I came out of school and college, and I built a fabulous business and I made millionaire status, as I talk about, I failed every day in work. I would make 100, 200, 300 calls a day, and I would fail because 99% of them were not good calls. 99% of them didn't turn into deals. I would make business mistakes. I would make life mistakes. What I'm talking about here, and the reason this sounds very, very negative, and it's not, and this is one of the points I want to get across. And when I'm speaking or when I'm coaching with people within my books, I talk really openly about failure, because I think one of the biggest problems we almost have as society is two parts of this. But the first part is us as individuals. We're terrified, we're frightened of failure. Now, think about it another way around. There will be somebody who you admire, an icon in sport, in business, maybe in life, whatever it is, there will be somebody you admire. There should be anyway. I guarantee you, if they are at the top of their game, if they are truly where they want to be and truly inspiring people, I guarantee you they will have failed more times than most of the people. Everybody, I deal with some real senior elite level business people and sports people. I guarantee you they fail. I deal with people in particular sports who will take a shot at a particular net or a particular goal or whatever. They fail. They miss far more times than they ever hit. Far more times, multiples of times they fail, because that's what they're doing. If they're taking a shot and they miss, it's a fail. If I was trying to get sober and I don't, it's a fail. If you make a business decision, or if you make a phone call to get a new job, if you make a phone call as a sales call, if you chat somebody up in a bar or somewhere as hoping to break into it, and it's a no, it's fail. But it's not that negative. That doesn't have to be a thing. Oh my goodness me, that's really negative. No, it's not. Failure is a key part of success. Failure is a key part of happiness. Failure is a key part of genuinely taking control of your mind and becoming something different. If you are watching something like this because life is not where you've got to right now, I'll pretty much guarantee you will be able to look at yourself and go, yeah, I'm there because I've not done this and I've not done that. So you failed. You may think I've failed at this and I've failed at that and I've failed at this. And you will look at it negatively. What I'm trying to do here is say, right, wherever you are right now, you are here. We take the number one benefit is you're still here. So that's a win. That's not a fail. You're still here. You're watching this. So that is a bloody win. Right. All the other failures you've now got to pull together and go, okay, I'm going to acknowledge them. I'm going to accept them, and I'm going to embrace them. I'm going to love them, because there's something about those failures that taught me something. It taught me not what to do. I know now by doing that it doesn't work. I know that failure didn't kill me, because here you are. So that's there is this universal obsession with failure, this universal fear of failure, this universal not using the word and almost making fun of people who fail. But we'll talk about that in a moment. What I'm trying to say is, for me to build a business, I had to accept failure. And I learned to accept bad calls and negativity and all those things. But I still got to the peak of where I wanted to be. Now, bizarrely enough for me, then I got into the trap of alcohol, and that mentally broke me. So I had a catastrophic failure, if you want to call it. Now, people will say having a mental breakdown like I did in alcoholism wouldn't be classed as failure. Well, I'm not. If you look at failure in a different way and embrace the word failure differently, you can accept it. I didn't want to be an alcoholic, so that's not a win. That's a fail. I didn't want to mentally break down. That's not what I wanted. So I can accept it as a fail, but it doesn't need to be negative. It can be positive. Failure can be a really positive part of your life, because if you are failing, you are trying. If you are failing, you are actually progressing. If you are failing, you are moving forward. Now, I am not saying go out and try and fail tomorrow. What I am saying is take control of your life. Take control of inspiring yourself. Stop being fearful. Don't be afraid. Really, I've talked about go and find your why, build your passions, find your goals, look forwards. Now, I want you to go on that journey, and hopefully with the work we do together on these and the books and the courses we do, we want people to come along this journey of creating an authentic and happy and passionate and inspirational life. And that's amazing. And I see lots of content about that, lots of content about really positive manifestation and goal setting. Amazing. Love it. But I get a little frustrated that they don't talk about failure, because you have to talk about failure. Because if you set off on this campaign to get fit, to go on a diet, to get a new job, to get a promotion, to get a pay rise, to earn money, to all these things that we could easily write down, the chances are, if you set those goals high enough, if you've set those passions really far enough ahead of where you are now, it's almost inevitable along that journey you're going to fail. Now, not talking about it ain't going to help you, because not talking about failure and not understanding failure, not embracing failure and not going, ha, I can see you, you then open the door up for the biggest fail of all, the one failure that's not acceptable: quitting. Now, if you quit, yes, sorry, you failed. And there's very little somebody like me can do. There's very little a book can do. There's very little anything anybody else can do in regards to motivation, mindset, and whatever. If you decide, no, that's it, I'm done, I'm not coming back again, I'm not going to try again, and I'm not going to do this, I'm going to go, well, I can't help. Now, if somebody comes to me and says, I failed, I'll go, okay, fine. Do we still have the goal? Do we still have the mission? Do we still have the passion? Fine. You didn't fail. Yeah, you did fail, but that doesn't matter, because we've learned. The only real true failure is quitting. The only true failure is saying not doing it anymore. But we've got to learn to accept failure. And this sounds incredibly negative, but what I'm trying to do is explain you got to deal with it. Now, with also, while I'm talking about failure, I want to talk about something else. And one of the biggest problems we have with failure is other people. Other people who aren't happy with their lives, other people who don't want to evolve, don't want to inspire, don't want to grow, are really happy just moaning about the price of a cup of coffee in Starbucks instead of just don't go to Starbucks, moaning about the bus is late, moaning that the car parking is expensive, moaning about all these things. They don't want to progress. They just want to blame everybody else. That's why they love politics, because it's somebody else's problem. It's somebody else's fault. Literally, it's nobody else's fault. It's yours. Now, shit happened. Failures happen. Now, what you got to do is those people who are constantly telling you, oh, I wouldn't do that, that might not work. And you'll all know this one. If you're going on a diet, or you're trying to stop drinking, or you're going for a job or whatever, that one person who is genuinely, who's usually a friend or often a family member, oh yeah, you did that before and it didn't work, didn't it? That's literally like them saying to you, you are a failure. They don't mean to say it, and I often don't think they really realize what they're saying. But what you've got to do, you've got to be so resilient. And if you can look people in the eye and you look straight back at them and go, yeah, I've done that before. And yes, I failed. But you know what I didn't do? I didn't quit. And I won't quit. And if I fail again, I'll get up and I'll go again and again and again and again. So failure is something we can embrace. Failure is something that will come, but it's not real unless you quit. Mindset, motivation, health, fitness, all those things, sobriety, they're all going to come with a whole load of challenges. And I can't tell you it's all woolly bubble glum and sunshine, because it's not. That's not true motivation, mindset coaching from me, because it's not true. Manifestation is wonderful, but also manifestation is great to help you get on a journey, but it doesn't help you overcome failure. You've got to deal with it, and that's how you deal with it. I call it scarring. I've got lots of scars, mental scars, physical, whatever, because things went wrong, but I never quitted. I had an amazing journey, and then a catastrophic journey where I nearly quitted to the ultimate level of quitting. I know how close I got. Now, if I'd have thought then I would be where I am today, doing what I do today, doing this type of work, traveling the world speaking, writing books, engaging with people, helping people truly get hold of their lives, I wouldn't have believed them. And it was the failures that kept me going because I wouldn't quit and I wouldn't quit and I wouldn't quit. So my point is, I'm talking about failure. It's not a negative. Don't take it as a negative. Failure is not negative. Quitting, sorry, that is negative. So you got to keep going. So my point is, all this video I've talked about is that I'm trying to lift the light, take the shade, take the darkness away from failure, because failure is part of the journey. And the real winners, the real inspirational people, the real people who go forward, they embrace it. They love it. They know they've learned and they go. Make sure you're one of those.